You know what that is. That is from the classic Nickelodeon kids game show Double Dare. It premiered in 1986 and was a massive success for Nick, which became one of the biggest cable channels of the 1990s. Behind much of that success was TV host Marc Summers. He enjoyed a long career in front of and behind the camera, hosting and producing for shows for Nick, Food Network, and others. We met with the 72-year-old on the set of his new one-man play here in New York City called The Life and Slimes of Marc Summers. Audiences get a deeply personal look at his career success and off-screen struggles.
On your mark, get set, go! Toss those pieces of...
My shop teacher at 7th grade had a sign over the door that said, plan your work and work your plan.
I like that.
And that's always been in the back of my head.
A familiar face for much of the past 30 years.
Here's your Super Sloppy Double Dare host, Marc Summers.
Marc Summers faced no shortage of challenges.
Hi, welcome to Unwrapped.
On his journey to the top of cable television.
The word no has come up a lot in your life.
Yeah. I had an NBC executive say to me once, your nose is too big and your name Berkowitz is too Jewish. Change your name, get your nose fixed, but until you do that, I'm not going to hire you. I had one foot out the door. I started a smoked salmon business, and
And how was that going?
well, we were doing 80,000 pounds a month at the Price Club at the time, which became Costco, and that was going fine, but I was miserable. I hated that.
But in 1986, Summers was eventually hired at 34 years old for a then small, kid-centric cable outfit called Nickelodeon. The job? It was a new game show concept called Double Dare.
Hi, I'm Marc Summers here at Nickelodeon Studios, Florida.
1,000 people auditioned for Double Dare in New York and then 1,000 in LA, and I got it. And I never wanted to do a kid show. There's something I've never told many people. So in my mind, I was Alex Trebek or Pat Sajak, and the kids to me were just like grown-ups.
Team to my left call themselves the Dastardly Daredevils. Say hello to Jim and Aaron.
And I never spoke to them in a squeaky voice and said, you know, Bobby, do you have a girlfriend? I treated them like they were grown-ups, and that worked for me.
Go! Here goes the taco process.
The show was a sensation, a ratings juggernaut that helped propel Summers into the American mainstream.
It's chaos.
Chaos?
They're
It's
grabbing
paying off.
flags and running through slime. It's the craziest show you've ever seen.
It was, and it was the right time. They did a focus group that kids were living vicariously through their parents, watching Price is Right, but didn't have their own show. So once again, right place, right time, give kids their own show.
It was like appointment television for kids.
It was. It truly was.
Give me a thumbs up, Marc.
It looks like life is good, but behind the scenes, you are battling something much darker, even sinister at times. Obsessive compulsive disorder.
I didn't know what obsessive compulsive disorder was. However, okay, I was living this nightmare of making everything perfect and neat.
And how long has this existed in your life?
From the time I was 6 years old.
In his new one-man play, Summers revisits the silliness of his career, but also unpacks his disorder and depression
OCD is seen as this horribly stigmatic disorder.
that played out when the cameras were off.
I was hosting a show on Lifetime TV called Biggers and Summers, and I spilled my guts on national TV that I thought I had this. Well, next thing I know, I'm on Howard Stern, I'm on Oprah.
And while on the outside, he always looked like he was having a lot of fun, getting all messy, on the inside, he was living a very painful secret that we're going to show you about right now.
I learned about OCD, but I didn't do anything about it. And one morning, at 1:30 in the morning, we had rugs with fringe on them. And Alice caught me on my hands and knees straightening fringe on the rug at 1:30. And she came out and she said, what are you doing? I said, I'll be in a few minutes. She said, what are you doing? I said, I have no idea.
Summers credits therapy for saving his life and for saving his relationship with his wife, Alice. They have been married for nearly 50 years.
Did you ever feel guilty for having these thoughts?
100%.
Feel bad about yourself?
Miserable. I wanted to stop. I couldn't go into a grocery store
Why?
because I would have to read those cans perfectly. Now, what is perfect? You know, the rules with people with OCD changes on a daily basis. What bothers me today may not bother me tomorrow. So if I'm buying a can of tomatoes and I turn this side and it gives the ingredients, unless I read that a particular way, I have to stay there and read it over and over again.
Today, Summers tells us his OCD isn't totally cured, but he's been able to retrain his brain to avoid those intrusive thoughts.
Your whole life, you wait to get to New York and maybe have some massive billboard. There I am on a trash can.
Summers says bringing his play to New York City has been a dream.
And this was the year that my career exploded!
And although much of his career has played out in front of a live audience, to be able to share his story in front of a crowd every night has been one of the most rewarding achievements of his life.
But I remember it like it was yesterday.
I get choked up about it because you know, I'm sorry. I didn't think this could ever happen at this point in my life. And I was pretty much out of the business. You know, Nickelodeon thing, you know, ran its course, and I was at Food Network for 20 years, and that ran its course. And here was this opportunity, and what it's turned into, it's just been mind-boggling.
So I sat down with him and got to know him more than just this face of one of my favorite shows growing up. And I realized that someone that was at the top, the pinnacle of being in media, being a TV host, was struggling behind the scenes so much. And it just goes to show you never know what people are dealing with.
We talked about that yesterday, the idea that you are spreading joy and laughter, especially to young people, while on the inside you are living a nightmare, what he described as a nightmare, something that he'd been going through since he was 6 years old.
Yeah.
And talking to him, Nate, do you think that this is a form of therapy, being back on stage?
Yes, yes, that's a very good point. I asked him about that, and he said, yes, this is me basically opening up to the world, but in reality, it's a mirror reflection of what I'm going through and helping me get through. Yeah, it's pretty cool. You have to see the show. It's one of my favorite shows. You can see the life and slimes of Marc Summers at New World Stages until early June. As Gayle says, run, don't walk.